What's happening, legends? Welcome back to the Becoming Reborn podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about you don't need more time, baby. You need better structure. Patrick, how are you, first of all?
Hello, Travis. I'm really good.
This topic that we're talking about is one of my favorite. I love structure.
Yeah, you do.
And a lot of people always say to you as well that I don't have enough time, and it kills me. It's really frustrating. And people, I don't know why people are resistant to using planners or having some sort of structure where they plan their weeks. But my goodness, it saves a lot of time.
I think I know why.
Why?
And you've taught me otherwise from this because they feel that having a planner or a set structure and putting down the exact hour and time you're going to do all of these tasks in a day shackles them. And they feel that like they're back at school again and they're getting told where to go and what to do and what time and where to be. And they just want to kind of live their life a bit freer.
Yeah.
But what's your response to that, Travis?
The structure gives you freedom. So the routine that you put yourself in, and then the structure and the framework that you create actually ends up giving you freedom. And why I believe that is because what happens is when you write it down what you want to achieve, first of all, you come in clear and you got clarity and you know exactly what you want to achieve for the day. But it also gives you more of a focus of like, all right, I've got these, let's just say five things to achieve over the next 6 hours. What if I could do it in 4? You know what? Fuck it. What if I could do it in 3, Patrick?
Whoa.
Right? Then you start time blocking, but that's probably going down another level. But once you have your structure, it actually gives you so much more time. Like you and I like we're very busy human beings. We're very rarely here after 2:30 p.m.
Yes.
Mind you, we get here early, but in saying that, we come in and we have our set structure and it just helps us for everything. Now, why I'm so passionate about this topic is as a business owner, you have to create your own structure. You in school, you're told, you know, what time you have to be there, what time you're going to eat, what you're going to be learning, all those different types of things. When you come out of that structure, the world is it's too flexible for you. So you have to be able to create your own structure as a business owner. But then when you get into a more senior role as well, then that's when you've got to start creating more structure. But what I believe is once you get yourself into these solid routines, it then just starts compounding the wins along the way. Because once you start and you get into routine and you become consistent at those things, whatever you're trying to achieve, it just amplifies that, like you getting there faster and faster. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100% agree. It's funny, I've got a list of like 30 questions to go through here. We're well into the podcast and I haven't even looked at it yet.
Okay, well, let's
You just
go.
get going. That's good.
Hit me.
Yeah, let's go. So actually, first one's a discussion point, controversial one, because this is technically true. And you know, I'm kind of like the technical, logical guy, right?
Yeah.
So you just love, especially when talking about exercise, when you hear or see personal trainers come out and say, everyone's got the same 24 hours. Technically it's true, but shut the fuck up. No, we don't.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like a 21-year-old personal trainer that often says that, who lives at home with mum and dad, they literally work in a gym. They can train for 3 or 4 hours a day if they'd wanted to. They don't have many responsibilities. Comparing that to a 35-year-old mum of 3.
I was going to say that.
Who works part-time and has got all the washing and cleaning and cooking to do, and they have to wrangle 3 kids and get them to school, and then they have to do everything else associated with that and all the after-school activities.
Yeah.
Yes, technically they've got the same 24 hours, but do they really?
Yeah.
No, they don't. So yes, everyone has the same 24 hours, but everyone's 24 hours look a lot different and there are a lot more responsibilities required by some people. Now, Trav, my first question to you is, if you have a 24 hours that is like that is jammed, and you're one of these people that thinks, I don't have enough time for whatever it is. Yes, we're probably going to talk about it from an exercise perspective. I don't have enough time to train for an hour a day, but you could input anything in there. I don't have enough time for whatever that activity is. What's your response to someone like that? Or your suggestion towards them?
Well, first of all, it's probably not a priority then.
Bingo.
That's probably the biggest problem, right? So if it's not a priority, you're not going to make time for it. But when it comes to your health, you got to make your health your priority now, or it's going to become your priority later. So it's very important that you put yourself first, because you are, well, I'm talking from a parent's point of view, you are the person that looks after obviously your kids, and then you got, your team around you as well. There's a lot of people riding on you. So I think that when people say X, I don't have enough time for X, it just becomes down to a priority, and the goal that they have for that is probably not strong enough. Sorry, not the goal, the why and the how is not strong enough towards that goal.
Now, it's funny when you're on one side or the other side of the fence around exercising consistently and not exercising consistently. Because if you're not training, I can completely understand if your day is jammed and you can't find an hour a day to exercise, and your thought is, if I exercise for an hour a day, there's other things that I won't be able to get done. On the other side of the fence, when you are exercising consistently, we understand that 1 hour of exercise I do in a day frees up more than 1 hour in the remainder of that day. What I mean by that is a lot of the work tasks that I specifically have to do in a day, I am way more than 1 hour quicker in everything else because I did that hour of training.
Great.
So yes, it looks like the hour is taken away from the rest of your day, but I can, because of exercise, free up 2 or more hours in the rest of the day. Did I explain that well?
Yeah, you did, and I've got a bit of data, I suppose.
Whoa.
But no, not data.
All
That's not
right,
the
numbers,
word.
man.
No, it's not numbers.
Relax. You are Chinese. Makes sense.
Yeah. This is my type of data. So coming into events, we always do deload weeks, and I actually had 2 kind of back to back because I had Oztag 1 week, and then the straight after I had Harper, and I can guarantee you the level of productivity in my deload week. So a deload week is I don't train as hard, and the sessions aren't necessarily as long, and the intensity is lower as well. So I gave us less energy. Yet I felt like I had less energy for the rest of the day than when I went harder, those weeks before, or did a higher volume session. Now, what I'm getting at is the days that you do less in the morning in terms of your training, you are far less productive and just feel like brain fog. Like I'll literally come up, sit in front of my computer, and it'll take me like 10, 15 minutes to kind of fluff around to get sorted for the day. But after like a heavy session, even on some of those Wednesday, there is times where I feel like I'm going to die for about 30, 40 minutes. But most of the time we come in after those banger of sessions, and like I sit down, coffee in hand, ready to rock and roll. And those next 2 hours, I reckon I get, 2 days worth of work in those 2 hours because you got so much energy and you're so pumped up.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well done. Proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. One other discussion point we're going to talk about, and this is big with you, and I've had to learn this quite well, and you try and teach me, Trav, and I really appreciate you helping me out with this.
Love you.
Is people often confuse activity with productivity.
Mm.
People are often busy for the sake of being busy and doing things that don't necessarily move the needle forward.
Yeah.
Go on. I can see you just chomping at the bit to talk. Go.
Again, coming back from experience. I remember when we first went to Kawara Road, and I was like, in order to be successful, I've just got to outwork everyone. So I was like staying there. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and I was like doing like longer hours.
And it's not untrue, that line.
Yeah.
To go, well, you have to outwork everyone.
But I wasn't working smarter. I was working harder. And it was that saying of I was being busy for the sake of being busy. It's like I was just doing stuff because I felt like I had to do stuff. But once you narrow down what exactly you need to do to tick the needle forward, like you were saying before, you just focus on those things. And then that just makes your time so much more productive, and it shortens everything. And just
100%.
like, wow, I was wasting so much time.
And one thing that I've always struggled with is delegating.
Yeah, horrible.
And how much delegating. Well,
sorry. You were horrible at it. You're getting heaps better.
You looked at me then. That was completely unnecessary. I hope you've got that on camera. That was... Whoa, look down your nose at me. Far out. Show some respect. Anyway, being able to delegate and use the tools at your advantage. So things that we use daily, Trav, we've got a VA, little Mickey from the Philippines.
Shout out Mickey, love you so much.
Love Mickey. He is amazing. He does a lot of the menial tasks that would take a lot of time and don't require a lot of intense brain activity, for want of a better term. On top of that, AI is growing at an exponential rate.
Scary.
Do you like that word?
Did.
So use these tools to your advantage and ask yourself if a lot of the tasks that you are doing, are they necessary to be done by you? Or if you are climbing the ladder in terms of importance in a business, can those tasks be delegated or be automated or be done by a VA for a pretty cheap cost?
Yeah. And then the second part of that is, I'm not sure which book it was, but it's like 20% of the things you do contribute to 80% of your revenue. It's like you just got to find what that 20% is and then just double down on those things opposed to all the other stuff. You get distracted and then you get caught up in the weeds.
We have seen with a few people recently that we've worked with, both in this gym and then down at Shell Harbour, is a lack of prioritization. So yes, there are more tasks that need to be done than the time you have to do them all. But if you put the same weighting of importance on all of those tasks, you're going to be working on the wrong things. So a good lesson I learned is when you've got a to-do list that is 38 tasks long, if you sit back and go, okay, in my day today, what are the top 2 or 3 most important tasks that need to be done, that are both important and urgent, that need to be done first before I even look at anything else? And you put an A next to them, the A priority tasks for that day. And then other things under that might be a little bit less urgent or a little bit less important, you put a B on them, and then everything else goes into the C bucket. And then what you do is you focus on the most important things that are going to move the needle forward, especially if we're specifically talking about business.
Yeah.
The things that are going to be moving the business forward. Yes, there can be a lot of C, D, E priority tasks that do need to be done, but are they the big rocks that are going to move your business forward? And if they're not, then they go towards the end. And the hard thing that can be is there are a lot of tasks that are important, but not urgent. Because some things are time dependent in that has to happen in the next 24 hours. There are some things that may be even more important than that, but if that waited a week, it's not going to change too much. So the things that need to be done first are both important and urgent.
Correct. Hold
Got
on.
anything else?
You
to
know
that?
that. Yeah, I was just thinking of Wags when
Yes,
he
the
does
quadrant.
the quadrant. Yeah.
The quadrant.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Might be able to pop up a little snippet of that. Well done, Nu. You're nodding at me, but you don't look that confident. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it after. Anyway, now
why don't we just get Nu on the podcast?
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, he's doing a job apparently.
Oh,
yeah, he's doing a really good job too, by the way.
Fuck, it looks good.
So what I want to talk about outside of this, so what we've spoken about there is getting your most important tasks done and how you can prioritize there. But I also want to talk about the people that say they have no time and a lot of the distractions and the things that fill someone's day that are not benefiting their life. So I'm going to ask anyone out there that thinks that they don't have enough time. This could be quite confronting. Right now, you know exactly where I'm going, don't you, Travis? We haven't spoken about this, but you know exactly where I'm going. Because I've done this, and this is very confronting. I did this half an hour ago before this podcast, and I went, ooh, I don't like the look of that. I want you to open up your phone. If you've got an iPhone, fantastic. If you don't, find another podcast.
Nice, Pat.
Open up,
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Open up settings on your phone. It's going to be a little bar down the bottom where you can search.
Oh, no, it's not going to be good for you.
Go to that, and then type in screen time. Open up screen time. Then it's going to come to a daily thing. Nu just looked really shocked when he's looking at his phone. It'll show you daily, so what you have done today. And if you look at it in the morning like I did, it's not going to mean too much because you probably haven't used your phone too long that day. But then up the top, I want you to change it to weekly. And I want you to scroll down a bit and it will show you how much time you have spent on certain apps in the last week. And it may be pretty confronting because it shows you a total time and then it can also show you daily how much time you spend on certain apps. Now, Travis, what are some of the apps that are going to be eating up a lot of people's time that aren't necessarily productive?
I was going to do your homework. That was sounded really good.
Sorry.
That's okay. I want to see how much time I spent on Spotify. My goodness. Sorry, what was your question?
What are the apps and the things that people are often doing on their phone that aren't productive and that chew up a lot of people's time?
I'm guilty of this, by the way. We're all guilty of it. If you got social media, it's doom scroll where you just sit there. I can go down and I'll end up watching 153 reels on how to cook pork belly. I love pork belly, but like I'll just keep watching all different cooking stuff, and then the next thing I'm on Conor McGregor and I'm looking at his highlights from 2014.
We have to remember a lot of these companies, Meta, which includes Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat.
Snapchat? You don't have Snapchat?
No, I don't have Snapchat, but I don't have
adorable.
TikTok either.
Oh, yeah, true. We do
a lot
that.
of
Reborn
these,
does.
a lot of these, Reborn does. Well done. A lot of these companies, the biggest focus for them is figuring out ways of how to keep people to stay on their app. So how to make it as addictive as possible. And these are multi-billion-dollar businesses, and their main focus is they've got behavioral scientists and they've got a lot of people in the data realm that their main job is how can we make this more addictive to people so they stay on our app for longer. So some of the smartest people on the planet are being paid an exorbitant amount of money to keep you addicted to that app. So it's not necessarily a willpower thing of like you need to be able to watch only 3 of your pork belly videos and then turn it off, because they are constantly in an arms race of coming up with more and more ways to keep you scrolling. So you've got to understand that it is a battle for attention here between all of these apps, and they are trying to keep you doing the things that we're telling you not to do. Very difficult. And Trav, do you have any strategies for anyone out there? I've got one. So if you need to think about it, let me know, for people to stop the doom scroll or to reduce their screen time.
Yeah. Atomic Habits has a few good lessons with this. It's like, say you make it uncomfortable. You add friction is the best way. You add friction so you can.
I've got a way to add friction, but you keep talking.
You put your phone. You can put your phone in another room, or you make it as like you have to do something in order to be able to look at your phone. So this is an extreme example, but do you remember reading in Atomic Habits where the guy made it so he wanted to watch YouTube or something? He wanted to watch Netflix actually. And the only way he could watch Netflix was that his treadmill was hooked up and it created the power.
Yeah.
So then he had to walk on the treadmill. That would power the TV to turn off. If he stopped, it stopped.
Yeah.
And that's how he did it, right? Look, that's very extreme.
But beneficial.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, love that nerd stuff. But like simple things is like putting your phone in other rooms.
Yep.
Out of sight, out of mind. That's the first simple one. The second one would be, I'd habit stack it to something that you want to achieve. So say you're like, I want to meditate more, right? I will go, I can't touch my phone until I've meditated for 15 minutes. You know, create some sort of task that you want to achieve before that you go to your phone. And oftentimes when you do something like that, where you distract yourself for long enough, you forget about it anyway. So for me, mine's always cooking, right? If I want to stay off my phone, like I go and cook. If I'm at home, I'm sitting on the couch, and the kids aren't there, cooking's my thing. Like the other night I made apple pie. I don't know why I brought that up, but I just want to bring it in that I made apple pie the other night, guys, and I nailed it.
I heard it was amazing.
Yeah, I've told everyone. No, did you hear? I made apple pie.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I didn't eat it, but I back you.
You backed me. Yeah. It was you love food. You'd appreciate it so much. But anyways, distract yourself with something that is going to be more beneficial than looking at your phone, and then use that as like your reward, so to speak.
The difficult thing there can be, and this is where what I find myself doing is I'll get a text message, right? And I'll open up my phone and I'll go to read the text message, and then it might be like someone sent me some stupid video, and then I'll click the link for the video, and then it takes me to Instagram, right? And then once you're in Instagram, then you get out of the or you write back to the message, and then you get back to the main page, and then all of a sudden you're in. They've sucked you in. Oh, right, they're good at that.
Yeah, don't you find it sad? Like, this is me talking about myself here too, and I'm sure there's other people that can relate. Like, as males, girls probably do the same thing. But like, as soon as like you go to the toilet, the first thing you do, like you're looking at your phone.
100%.
Like, I find myself doing stuff like that. I'm like, what do you like? You actually snap out of it, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, I've got things to do, and I'll say to Ace,
it's automatic, isn't it?
Ace or Jet, they got their iPad in their hand. I'm like, Ace, put your iPad down, and then you
snap them out of a trance almost,
and then you realize that like you're doing the same thing. Like, I'll be walking up the stairs, look and trip over. I'm like, oh, I was looking at my phone. I'll see Ace doing it, but I'll get angry at Ace.
So my tip is around that. So I've got an app on my phone. It's called OneSec, ONE space SEC. And what it does is I link certain apps to this app. So I've got Facebook and Instagram linked to it, the ones that I want to stop the most. And what this app does is once I've linked them to this OneSec app, right now, if I were to click on Facebook or Instagram, it makes me breathe. It might sound stupid, and it comes up with a blank screen and you've got to breathe in, and it takes about 6 or 7 seconds, and then breathe out. and you can't do anything else on your phone. You can't get to the app without going through this. Then it'll pop up and say, what is your intention for opening this app? And then you've got to write in, or it comes up with like 10 options, and you've got to put in what your intention is. What I find is when I just go to quickly, I'll hit Instagram, right? And then it'll get me to breathe in. I'm halfway through the breath in and I'm like, what the hell was I doing? I don't even want to go to that. And I'll just put my phone away. Or I'll breathe in and out, which takes about 12 seconds. And then it'll come up and say, what's your intention for opening this app? And then I'll look inward and I'll actually be honest with myself, and I'll scroll through and I'm like, I just wanted to scroll.
It's sad about like the human race. Like we're uncomfortable in our own presence almost. Like we can't sit and just be. Like you always got to be doing something. And I'm talking to myself here. Like I'm always like, if I'm driving, like I'll be like changing the song or whatever it is. You always kind of need to be doing something, but like we'll just sit and be. Like what do they do? Like even 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
What did we do?
We were outside playing with sticks and stones and kicking balls around.
10 years ago, that's sick.
Yeah,
in our 20s, that's mad.
Yeah, pretty much. I was actually having a giggle about how I threw a tantrum when I was 21 with Taka, because this morning Mickey came in, he goes, I don't want to play anymore after the session. He's like, I don't want to play anymore. I'm taking my ball home. I'm like,
I've done that. Yeah, as an adult.
Yeah, not that long ago.
I actually find, Trav, I know we're kind of deep into the chatting around phones as one of the major distractions, but it's appropriate because that is probably the major distraction for most people. What I try and do on weekends, and I'll often judge my weekend based off this, is the amount of things that I can do where I don't know where my phone is. 95% of the time, I know exactly where my phone is. It's often on me or in my pocket, right? I love it when I go somewhere and do something and I've got no idea where my phone is. And for hours in the day, I haven't even thought about it. And you often get back and you've got all these notifications and it's bloody annoying having to go through them all. But like taking the kids to the beach at Boat Harbour or something, and you pushing the kids onto a wave to surf, or you're out there swimming, or you're building sandcastles or something like that. I love that. And for several hours, you're not even thinking about your phone. Doing things like that, whether it's with your kids or if you don't even have any kids, but finding things that you do where you're more immersed in the world and you're away from this thing. I think that is incredibly important. And I often judge my weekend based on how many hours of the weekend I didn't have this and I didn't know where it was and I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah, to tie this all back in, when you're structuring your days, there could be parts, if it's possible, if you can do your work off your laptop or your computer without your phone, you could have it so that you don't touch your phone until you've completed X, Y, Z. That's a good little way of getting around it. Most of the time, see my little charger up there?
Yeah, I do.
So that keeps me off my phone. So I put that on the charger, so it sits away. I know it's right in front of me, but it's like this is how
it's not
lazy we are.
Yeah.
It's not right there. Like if I'm sitting there, I'm writing something, and I'm waiting for someone to text me back, so I write off my computer. Like you go to you don't know how often I go to grab it, and I'm like, oh no, I don't need it. Like I'm just so I just sit there and wait for them to write back, and then I just go again. But yeah, having like little distractions like that constantly like stop you from doing what you're doing really eats into your time. You don't even realize it. So having your phone away from you, it actually is going to help a lot when it comes to your structure.
It's good. It's good. All right. I think it's time for us to wrap up here.
Yep.
So we came with a few, I guess, tips there at the end for how to stay away from your phone specifically. But going back to the start of the podcast, Trav, around structuring and planning your days and your weeks, is I want you just to wrap it up for us and explain to the listeners why they will benefit from that so much, and then a quick snippet of how to do it.
Okay, so why you'll benefit so much from having a clear structure is the first topic that we spoke about was that people think that they get less time. It actually will give you more time. It's going to give you more clarity. It's going to give you more, it's going to give you a lot less anxiety as well, but it's going to give you more focus. So having your structure straight away just gives you that the clarity, the focus, and as well the less anxiety. Great. Now, how to do it? Write down your perfect week. What does that look like? And you got to write your pillars in, the things that happen every single week. That's where you got to start, right? We all have certain things like for the mums, like the kids go to school the same time every single day, right? Write those things down. It might be, let's just use the shopping, right? Shopping should be done on the same time every single week to make it easier for yourself. What are the things that you do every single week? Give them a time and like a home in your time, your weekly timetable. And once you've got your pillars, that you can start working in when you can structure your focus work in. But you've got to come up with your perfect week first. You got to write it down. You're much more likely to achieve things. You're 42% more likely to achieve things. Atomic Habit, thank you. If you write things down, you're gonna be more than likely you're going to get those things done. So write down your perfect week. Write down when you're going to do it. Start with that. You are not going to have a perfect week every week. But what it does, it gives you a framework, gives you something to focus on, and it gives you something where you can lean back on when shit hits a fan as well. So that is how you are going to get around it.
We could have made this podcast an hour.
Yeah, easily.
You love this. All right, that's good. I reckon they've got plenty of tips from that.
You guys are so
Well
welcome.
done.
Peace!